Alright, so let's see if we are live over here. Okay, so let me just check it if we are going live. Perfect. Okay. Hi, hello, good evening, my dear students. How are you all? I hope that everybody is fine. And I'm Ritika, your chemistry educator. And I'm back here at the YouTube channel of Unacademy, bringing with me another very important session of your term to examination, right? So we are over here in the ninth grade of ICSE board, and we are going to have a very important session of your term to examination, right? So what are we going to study today? Basically, we are going to study about periodic table in our today's class. So I hope that you stay here and you share the link with your friends so that maximum students can take the advantage of this session. Okay. Now, I'm Ritika and I have completed my engineering in electronics and communication. And right now I'm here teaching you all chemistry. Students, you can join the Telegram channel for having the help in homework and your class notes. Okay, so this is the link of Telegram channel. Okay, you will be getting this link in description box. Kindly join the channel and I'm sorry. Also, you can join the official Telegram channel of ICSE board. Okay, to receive all the regular updates of your sessions, special classes, and about all the ongoing offers here at Unacademy. Now, today basically we will be studying about periodic table. Okay, let's see what are the topics that we are going to cover over here. So in our today's class, we will be covering the reason why we needed to classify the elements. Then we will be focusing on the earlier attempts. Okay, what were the attempts that were made to classify the elements? After that, we will be focusing on Dobereiner's triads, and at the last, we will be going for the Newland's law of octaves. Okay, so these are the hi Aditya, hello Sandhya. These are the things that we are going to do for today. Okay, so I hope that you're ready. Please grab your pen and paper if you want to take notes. Okay, let us understand this thing through an example. Okay, now if this is how a certain library looks like, and if you get an if you get an order to pick out a particular book from this lot, okay, so how will your experience be? I guess it would be very tough. It would be very difficult to select or to search a book from this lot, right? Now same thing happened with elements. So as more and more number of elements they were being found, what was the problem? That we needed a particular or a kind of arrangement, right? Why we needed arrangement? Because studying about each element separately, it was becoming very difficult. Okay, so that is why we needed to have a particular system of arrangement, and this is how the modern periodic table came up after various trials and errors. Hi Gia. Okay, now if I talk about the year 1800, there were very less elements known, right? We just had only about 1800 elements which were known at that time. So it was not very difficult. But as the numbers increased, okay, it became difficult for us to remember about any, or I would say every particular element, right? So studying or learning about each element, 63 elements, learning about their properties, it was very difficult. And right now we are having 118 elements, right? So if we have to study about each element and we have to go for the properties separately, that becomes very difficult. So as this number was increasing, there was a need to have a systematic study. Okay, and that is why we needed to go for the arrangement. Okay, So if I talk about the advantages of classification of elements, there are certain good things, okay, or I can say certain merits of classification of elements. I'm sorry. So the very first advantage is we are able to study about elements in an organized manner. So there is a systematic, or I can say an organized manner, and we can study about the elements in this particular manner. Next advantage of classifying the elements, it is we can correlate the properties of elements with fundamental properties. Okay, so it helps to correlate the properties of elements with fundamental properties of states of matter. Okay, and the third advantage of classifying the elements, it helps to define the relationship of one element with another. Now, how does it define the relationship? Like what would be the formula of the oxide? Okay, that is the relation between oxygen or that particular element. What will be the formula of hydride? Okay, how does it react with non-metal, or how does it react with metal, etc. So it helps to define the relationship of element with another. So these are the advantages that we have of classification, right? Let's revise them again. What are the advantages? First of all, through classification we can have a systematic or very sequential or organized study of the elements. Okay, then because of the classification, the properties of any element, it could be correlated with fundamental properties, and it is helpful in defining the relationship of any element with another. Okay, now students, if I talk about this classification, it didn't come easy. What do we mean by this? This classification didn't happen in one go. There were many scientists who came up, who gave their trial, okay, and there were some good things about those methods. There were some disadvantages about those methods, and that is why we needed to found or we needed to go for some other methods. Okay, so we will be seeing some of the trials, okay, which different chemists or which different scientists gave for classifying the elements. All right, so the earliest attempt of classification of elements, it was done by Antony Lavoisier. Okay, so there was this scientist Antony Lavoisier who in the year 1789 he tried to group the elements into the two categories. So the first one was metals and other one was non-metals. So he took into consideration various properties such as malleability or ductility or density, etc. And he basically classified the elements into two categories. Okay, now what were the reasons that this law couldn't be taken further? Okay, so what were limitations? First of all, the number of elements in each category was very large. Now, what do we mean by this statement? See, for example, I am having, let's say, 60 elements, right? And I have classified them into two categories of metals and non-metals, right? So let's say in the metals I am having 30 elements, in non-metals I am having 30 elements. So again I will have to study about these 30 separately, these 30 separately. So there was no basic generalization which was done, because the number of elements falling into each category, it was again very large. So there was no sense of generalization which actually happened, right? Okay, what was the second I could say demerit or second problem with this law? It is some characteristics of the metals or the non-metals, they were varying. Okay, so some characteristics were changing or they were varying with conditions. Okay, for example, if I change the pressure, if I change the temperature, okay, some of the characters were changing, and Anthony Lavoisier didn't have any satisfactory answer to this question. Okay, and the third one was there were certain elements, okay, which showed the properties of metals, that is they showed metallic character also, and they showed non-metallic character also. So he couldn't answer where to place these elements. Okay, so basically this classification which was done by Anthony Lavoisier, it was not taken further due to these three reasons. Okay, and the reason was the number of elements falling in each category, it was very large. Then some of the characteristics, some of the properties, they were changing with different conditions, they were not same. And certain elements, they were showing different type of characters, such as they were showing metallic character also, and they were showing non-metallic character also. And since he divided the elements into metals and non-metals, so it was not very sure to where to place those elements, right? These were the reason why couldn't this law be taken further. Now, after that, there was one scientist who gave a very important statement, William Prout. So William Prout, he stated that there is one property of elements which remains constant in all the conditions, and that property is atomic mass. Okay, so this statement really proved to be helpful, because after this statement there were many scientists who gave their own theories of periodic table, of arranging the elements into the I could say table form, or maybe in a particular arrangement. All right. Now, students, there is a very important information for all the students of grade 9 to 12. So this is the mega offer for the plus subscription. Okay. Now, students, if you are going to buy the subscription of 2 months or above, I'm sorry, of 12 months or above, you are going to get the 2 month subscription free. Okay, that means you are going to get the extension of 2 months. Okay, so students, kindly make sure that you take this opportunity. Okay, and also you will be getting the 10% discount on purchasing the plus subscription for any duration. Now this offer, it is valid only for first 500 subscribers. Okay, so kindly make sure that you take the plus subscription as soon as possible, and you take the advantage of 2 month extension. Okay, all right. Now, after Anthony Lavoisier's trial, there came another scientist. Okay, so he was a German chemist named Johann Wolfgang Dobereiner, and he tried, or he tried to arrange the elements into group of three. Okay, so he identified that the elements which are having a kind of similar properties, we can group them into three. Okay, and we name them as triads. Okay, and these elements which were placed in a triad, they had similar physical and chemical properties. Correct. Now let us see what was the law of triad. So according to this law of triad, when the elements, they are increased, they are arranged in increasing order of their atomic masses, what happens? The arithmetic mean of atomic mass of first and third element, it would be approximately equal to the atomic mass of second element. Okay, also this law was similar for the properties. Okay, now let us see how does this happen. For example, if I take three elements, that is calcium, strontium, and barium. Okay, these are the three elements. Now, if I talk about their properties, so first of all, they all are metals. Okay, then they all are having valency 2, and the third one is that their oxide, it is alkaline in nature. Okay, so these are the three properties. First is they all are metals, their valency is 2, and their oxide, it is alkaline in nature. So that means they can form a triad since they are having similar properties. Okay, so he put all these into a form of triad, okay, according to their increasing atomic masses. Okay, now let's talk about their mass and if it is applying for the law of triad or not. So calcium, the atomic mass is 40. The atomic mass of barium, it is 137. Okay, now if I take out the average of these, what I will be getting? See, 40 plus 137 upon 2, that is equal to approximately 88.5. Correct? If I talk about the mass of strontium, it is 88. Now we can say that 88, it is approximately equal to 88.5, and this law thus was applicable over here. Similarly, if I go for some other group, that is, let's take the group of halogens, that is chlorine, bromine, and iodine. Okay, now talking about their properties, first of all, they all are non-metals, they are halogens. Okay, next their valency is 1. Okay, and they can react with water and they form what? Acids. So we can say that the similar properties are present. Okay, now talking about their masses. Okay, so chlorine, it has got the atomic mass of 35.5. Talking about iodine, it has got the mass of 127. Now let's take out the average. So we have 35.5 plus 127, and if I go for average, it is equal to 162.5 upon 2. That makes it 81.25. And the mass of bromine, okay, it is 80. So 80 is again somewhere equal to 81.25. Okay, nearly equal. So this law was applicable over here also. Okay. Now, what was the reason to discard this law? Why were, Dobenier's triad couldn't be taken further? Let's see. Okay. Now, if I go for the limitations of Dobenier's triad, first of all, just a minute. So, very first reason was he failed to arrange all the elements known at that time into triads. Okay, so all the elements which were known at that time couldn't be arranged into group of 3. Okay, so that was the first reason, and the second reason was the law did not hold true for same family. Now see, if I talk about same family, see, they are all having similar properties, right? So according to this, the law should be true. Okay, the law should be standing true. Now if I go for fluorine, if I go for chlorine and bromine, okay, see, they are all halogens. Okay, having their valency equal to 1. Okay, and again they react with water to form acids. Okay. Now, since they are having same or similar properties, so they should be following Dobereiner triad. If I go for the mass of fluorine, it is 19. If I go for mass of bromine, it is 80. Okay. Taking out the average, I have 19 plus 80 upon 2. That is equal to 99. Okay. And when I go for the result, it is 49.5. This is the mass coming out. Okay. Now over here, what is the condition? Chlorine's mass is 35.5. Correct? Now this mass of chlorine and the average mass, it is nowhere near. Okay. So that was the reason why we needed to drop the Dobereiner's triads. Okay. I hope this thing is very much clear to you. Now, students, I have a very important information for all the students of again grade 9 to 12. So as you know that your term 2 examinations are going to start very soon, right? So for this, I'm sorry, Unacademy has rolled out one of the test series, okay? So this test series is ACE for finals, okay? It is for all the plus subscribers, okay? Now, the test, it is for the subjects science and maths, that is physics, chemistry, biology, okay? And we are going to have this series starting from 3rd of February to 27th of February. The test will be held every Saturday and Sunday from 1 p.m. So the duration, it will be 60 minutes and there will be 30 questions. Okay. Now why to enroll in this test series? Because here you will be getting a gist of your examination. You will be getting an idea of how the questions will be asked in your examinations and how to prepare or how to go for the answer. Okay. So students, kindly enroll yourself into the test series. It's not only that you will be giving the test, but we will also be having a detailed analysis after every test. Okay. So in those, you can discuss with your educators what are the confusions that you have, what are the problems that you are facing, and these can be solved. So kindly make sure that you enroll yourself into these test series to ace your final exams. All right. After that, we move on to Newland's law of octaves. So there was a British chemist whose name was John Newland. At his time, approximately 62 or 63 elements were known. Okay, so he tried to combine them according to their first of all, he arranged them according to their increasing order. Okay, increasing order of atomic mass. And he discovered a very unique or interesting thing. He found that the property of every eighth element, it was repeating or same. Okay. Now this is how first of all he arranged the elements, okay, which were known at that time. Okay. Now if I talk about the law of octaves, what did this law state? It stated that when elements are arranged in order of their increasing atomic masses, very important, in order of their increasing atomic masses. Now what did he found? The properties of every eighth element. Now eighth element from where? Starting from any element. Okay, so property of every eighth element starting from any element. Now he saw a kind of repetition. So starting from any element were a repetition of the properties of starting element. This was the law that was given by Newland. So he told, okay, I'll just explain you over here. So if I'm having any element, okay, let's say X, okay. All right. So he told that if I'm starting my counting from here, so from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and over here let's have an element 1. This is the 8th element. So he told that the property of first and 8th element, they will be similar. Okay. Now, what did Newland do? He divided or he tried to arrange the elements in the form of, first of all, he had horizontal rows, okay, which contained 7 elements, okay. And a very important thing to note over here is the inert gases, they were not known at the time of Newlands, okay. So this is the thing that he found. Okay. Now students, talking about our special class and the features which makes the class interesting, engaging and special. So in the special class, we can have a live real-time interaction. So that means you can interact, you can talk with your educators. Okay. We are having various chat options. We are having various emojis. After that, you can also ask the questions using the question tab to your educators. Okay, so when you click on the question tab, you can either type in your question or you can attach the image of your question. Okay, and you can clear your doubts. We also have live poll options. So what are live poll option? Actually, these are the kind of MCQs. Okay, so we are having over here MCQ in which you are getting options. Okay, you have to select any correct options, okay, from the given options, and you can take part over here. Okay, we also have poll leaderboards in which you can see what is your position among all the students which are present in the class. Okay, so we have a poll leaderboard which shows you the average time duration and a detailed analysis of your answers. Okay, next is the special class timetable. So students, tomorrow, that is on 13th February, we are going to have a one short revision on modern periodic table. So we are going to have a very important session over here. Next is we are going to have poll war on modern periodic table on 15th February. That is, we are going to have a questionnaire session on modern periodic table on 15th of February. And on 17th of February, we are going to revise the very important chapter, that is hydrogen. Okay, so please note students that the special class timing for grade 9, it is 5:15 p.m. Okay, so you can watch these classes for free of cost. All you need to have is the Unacademy Learners app. Hi Jitaksh. Okay, next is what is so special about Unacademy? Why should you subscribe for plus? So see, first of all, you can learn from the comfort of your home. You don't need to go anywhere. Then you will be having the access to all the courses. Okay, you will be taught by top educators of India at one platform, and you will be having regular doubt clearing sessions. Okay, now in this doubt clearing or answer writing session, these are the separate sessions which are exclusively designed for all your doubt clearance and answer writing. So in answer writing session, you are told how to present your answers, how to write your answers in a way that actually boost your performance, boost your marks. Okay, and which increases the understanding, of course. Then your syllabus, it is covered exhaustively. Okay, conceptually, we try to make you understand the things. Okay, and you are under the mentorship and guidance of your educators. Okay, of course, you receive all the study material in the PDF format so that you can refer to it whenever you need it. And we also have regular practice test and live test series. Okay, apart from these things, you get your batch courses, you get your daily practice section, weekly mock test, live quizzes, daily MCQ, and subjective test series. Okay, now talking about Unacademy Plus subscription pricing. So you can select the timing duration according to your convenience. You can go for 3 month plan, or you can go for 6 month, or you can go for 12, 18, 24, 48, 42, 36, anything. Okay. And you can use my code that is over here to get an extra 10% discount. Okay. So please use this code to have the extra 10% discount. Okay, now moving on to the advantages of Newland's law of octaves. Just a minute. So the advantages or the good things about Newland's law of octaves was, first of all, this particular arrangement. Just a minute. This arrangement worked quite well for lighter elements. Okay, so what do we mean by this statement over here? See, if I go for the table, in the modern periodic table, we are having lithium, sodium, and potassium together, right? And these were brought together at the time of Newlands. So the lighter elements, they were showing good results, okay? So the system was working good for lighter elements, okay? Next thing was, it related the properties of elements to another property, that was to atomic masses. Okay, and for the very first time there was a periodicity seen in the properties of elements. Now what do we mean by periodicity? It is a kind of a repetition in the certain properties of elements. Okay, so these were the advantages of Newland's law of octaves. Okay, now if there were good things, there were also some of the things which were not very good, because of which we needed to discard the Newland's law of octaves. Now let's see what were these reasons. So the very first was that this classification, it didn't work for heavier elements. Okay, that means what? Newland, he could arrange the elements only up till calcium. Okay, so this law was working well up till calcium, but not after that. Next drawback was, he adjusted two elements in same slot. Okay, now if I have to give you example, if there is a seat of one person, right, then of course only one person can sit there comfortably. Okay, that means if there is place for one element, how can we place two elements over there? Okay, so what did he do? Actually, he placed, I'll just show you over here. Yeah, cobalt and nickel, they were placed at same position. Okay, so there were elements which were placed in the same slot, two elements which were placed at same slot. Okay, so that was problem. Okay, next is, if I talk about cobalt and nickel, they were placed with fluorine, chlorine, etc. Okay, and they are not having any properties which are similar over here. Okay, so if I talk about the properties, they are very different. Okay, the properties of halogens, they are different from cobalt and nickel. And next, if I talk about another drawback, see, iron, it has in some way got the properties related to cobalt and nickel. Okay, and it was placed away from cobalt and nickel. So these were some of the drawbacks of the Mendeleev's periodic table. Correct? I hope that you might, I'm sorry, not Mendeley's, Newland's law of octaves. Okay. So I hope that you might have understood everything. Let's quickly revise it and then we will be moving on to some of the important questions that can be asked from this topic. Okay, so we first of all started with the advantages of classification. See, if I talk about the earlier times, there were not many elements were known. Okay, so it was not very difficult studying about elements. But as the time passed, what happened? The elements, they were being found, they were being discovered. Okay, so as the elements number was increasing, there was a difficulty being faced in studying about them. Okay, so we needed a systematic systematic arrangement. Correct. Now, if we go for what are the reasons that we should go for a classification, first it helps to study about the elements in a good or in an organized or in a better manner. Then it is helpful to correlate the properties of element with fundamental properties of states of matter. And it is also helpful to define the relation of any element with another. So these were some of the advantages of classification. Okay, then after that there were some earlier attempts of classification which happened. Of course, the periodic table that we learn about right now, it didn't came in one way or in one time. There were many trial and error method that happened. Okay, now at the very first there was scientist Anthony Lavoisier. He tried to classify the elements into two categories, metals and non-metals. Okay, but there were some problems with this classification due to which we couldn't take it further. And the problem were, first of all, in each category the elements were very large. Okay, so it didn't actually serve the purpose of arrangement, okay, or classification. Next, some of the characteristics of the elements, they were changing with different conditions, so he was not very sure as to where to place these elements. And after that, certain elements, they were having both metallic and non-metallic properties, which again gave a confusion where to place. After that, there was a scientist, William Prout. He gave a very important statement that atomic mass of elements, they remain constant under all the conditions. And after that, Dobereiner triad came up. So he was a German chemist and he tried to arrange the elements into group of three, which were known as triads. Okay, and in every triad he picked out the elements having similar chemical and physical properties. So this law of triads said that if we take three elements, okay, having similar chemical and physical properties, and if I arrange it according to their increasing atomic masses, the atomic mass of second element, middle element, it would approximately be equal to the average of the atomic masses of the corner elements. Okay, so there were triads which were found. Three triads were discovered: lithium, sodium, potassium, calcium, strontium, and barium, and chlorine, bromine, and iodine. But this law couldn't be taken further. The reasons were that, first of all, it was just, some elements that could be fitted into this particular category, okay, or triad form. He failed to arrange all the elements. Next, this law was not holding true for same family. For example, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, they belong to same family, but the atomic mass thing was not holding true. Okay, after that came Newland's law. Okay, so Newland, he arranged all the elements which were known at that time into according to their increasing atomic weight, and he found a very interesting thing that the properties of every eighth element, it was repeating. Okay, now he compared this thing to the notes of music. Okay, so we know that notes of music, we have sa re ga ma pa dha ni, and again we have sa. That means it is repeating, right? So this is the thing that he compared, okay, with the elements, okay, and the law stated that when we arrange the elements in order of their increasing atomic mass, the property of every eighth element starting from any element will be a repetition of properties. Okay. So he arranged the elements into horizontal rows having 7 elements, as inert gases were not known at that time. Okay, there were certain advantages of Newland's law of octaves. So first is this arrangement, it was working quite well for the lighter elements. Okay, so this thing was holding true, or it was working in a good manner for all the lighter elements, and also it related the properties of elements to atomic mass, which was one of the fundamental property. And for the very first time, there was a periodicity, that is a kind of repetition in the properties of elements, was seen for the very first time. Okay. Then we have drawbacks. So what were the bad things, or I could say what were the demerits of the Newland's law of octaves, which couldn't take this particular law further? So first of all, it was not working for heavier elements. Okay, so he could arrange only the elements up till calcium and not beyond that. He adjusted two elements, cobalt and nickel, in the same slot. So that is again also not possible. How we can arrange two elements at same position? And also these were arranged with halogens, which had entirely different properties. Then iron, which had some properties related or similar to cobalt nickel, it was placed away from them. Okay, now let us answer some of the questions. According to law of triads, the elements can be grouped in group of 6 elements. No. Every third element resembles the first element in periodic table. That is also incorrect. The properties of middle element were in between those of other two elements. Okay, let's see. And three elements arranged according to increasing weights have similar. Okay, high Dhruv. Okay, three elements arranged according to the increasing weight have similar properties. So over here, the correct answer is this. The properties of middle element, they were between, in middle, okay, of the other two elements. Next is, which of the following cannot be a triad? Okay, so if I talk about the triads, chlorine, bromine and iodine, if I talk about, they of course are triad. Why? Because, just a minute, okay, one second. Yeah, if we'll start with the first one, lithium, sodium and potassium. So these are the alkali metals. Okay, and if I go for the mass of lithium and potassium, okay, they will be equal to the average, it will be equal to the mass of sodium approximately. Okay, then we have boron, aluminium and gallium. So over here, this is what will not be showing the law of triad. Okay, we also have beryllium, magnesium and calcium, and of course chlorine, bromine and iodine. Okay, they all show the law of triad except this. Next is law of octave states. Okay, so kindly tell me answer in the chat box. Every eighth element, it has properties similar to first element. Okay. Every third element has properties similar to first. No. Okay, the properties of middle element were in between other two elements. So see, octaves, they had 8 elements, okay, not 3. So of course that this can be not correct. When did you okay, Dhruv, can you please be clear? I didn't understand your question. Okay, the property of element were repeating after regular interval of 3, 4 or 8 elements. So that is also not correct. So that means 8th element is having the property similar to first element. Okay. All right. The next one was, what were the limitations of Newland's classification? So students, please try to answer this question. What were the problems being faced by Newland's classification? So let's see the options. First of all, it was applicable only for lighter elements? Yes, the lighter elements, they were brought together. Then he adjusted two elements at some same place, cobalt and nickel. Correct. And the pattern was observed only up till calcium, so that is also correct, which makes all the above options as the correct answer. Okay. Next question is Newland's law of octaves. It worked well only with a dash. So this Newland's law of octaves, it was working well only with the lighter elements. Okay. It didn't work, or it didn't go well with the heavier elements. Now, if X and Y belong to same group of a Newland's periodic table, how many elements exist between X and Y? So that's a bit a confusing question. See, X and Y. So they are belonging to the same group. Okay, so how many elements we will be having? So starting from this, 1. Okay, this is 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. That is Y. So how many elements we are having? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we are having 6 elements between X and Y. Okay. Next is the discovery of which element led to a death blow to Newland's law. So at the time of Newlands, the inert gases were not known. Okay, this class was started at 8:30. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so the inert gases were not known at that time, and when inert gases, they were found or they were discovered, the Newland's law was not even working. Why? Because now every 8 element is what? The noble gas, right? So there was no similarity in the property. Correct? So I hope things are clear to you. Let's quickly see what are the things that we have covered today. We learned about periodic table. Okay. Hi Aryan. So we covered certain things. First is the classification, advantages. Hi, hello all the new students. Okay, so Dhruv, since you are new, first of all, you will be getting a Telegram channel link in the description. Okay, so you can join that channel to receive the updates of the classes. Okay, so that you do not miss out on any class, and you can also click on the link which is given to you in the description box to join the special class. Okay, now students, first of all, I'm having a very important information for you all. It's a very important announcement. Tomorrow at 11 a.m. we are going to have a very important session, that is the session on preparation strategies. Okay, so it will be giving you the basic idea how to prepare for your exam. Okay, and how to increase, or how to increase the concentration. Okay, so these things will be covered in tomorrow's session. Okay, and we will be covering it, or we will be starting it at 11 a.m. So kindly be present in this session. You need to download Unacademy Learner app. Okay. All right, so what are the things that we have learned today? It's classification, advantages. Then we learned about Dobereiner's triads. We learned about what is the law of triad, what is the disadvantage. Okay, after that we went on to Newland's law of octaves. Okay, and we discussed the advantages and disadvantages of Newland's law. Okay, I hope the things are very much clear to you. Okay, now again a very important information about Prodigy. So students, Prodigy is where you can win amazing prizes, right? So this is for class 7 to 12 learners. Okay, where you can win the scholarships and prizes. Okay, while testing your knowledge in mental ability. Correct. So you can enroll yourself right now for the free. The test, it is scheduled to happen on 13th February. Okay, so this particular test, it is going to happen for the last time on 13th of February, and the timing for the test, it is 12 noon for all the students of grade 7 to 10. Please do not lose this opportunity, students. You're going to win amazing things. Okay, so the first ranker will be getting a MacBook Air. The rankers 2 and 3rd will be getting an Apple iPhone. The rankers 4th and 5th will be getting an Apple iPad. And if your rank falls between 6 to 40, you will be getting an Amazon Echo Dot. Rank between 41 to 100, you get Amazon vouchers. Also, you will be getting scholarship. If you have your rank between 1 to 10, there is 100% scholarship that you get. If your rank is between 11 to 25, you get 75% scholarship. Rank between 26 to 100, you get 50% scholarship. Rank between 101 to 200, 25% scholarship. And if your rank is 201 to 500, you get 15% scholarship. Okay, so you please ace the test on 13th of February and open your gates to win these amazing prizes. Also, we are having the crash course batches for your term 2 examinations. Okay, so we are having the batches for grade 9 and 10, okay, which have started. And if you take the subscription of grade 9, you will be getting the subscription of grade 10, 11 and 12 absolutely free. Okay, and students, if you still are confused about anything, maybe it is your preparation journey, or you are having some query about subscription, or you are not very sure about the latest offers, you can just call on this number. There will be a counselor who will get in touch with you and solve all your issues. Okay, and students, you can use my code while applying for plus subscription to get a 10% off. Okay, I hope that you might have understood everything, students. Kindly subscribe to the channel of Unacademy, and you can download the PDF. Also join the Telegram channel to receive the regular updates. So I hope that you might have understood everything. We will be meeting in the next class, in which I will be bringing some more important topics of your term 2 examinations. So till then, students, keep learning, keep studying. All the very best for your preparations. Ace your ICSE boards with Unacademy Plus, and we will be meeting in the next session. So thank you everyone. Let's meet in the next session.